Today we have Doug with us for our Nurse Spotlight. Hi, Doug.
Hi.
He is actually a nursing student right now at Nevada State College, and he also serves in the Student Nurses Association board as both a liaison and a recruiter for Student Nurses Association. He is also both a husband and an inspiration to two of his children. So, Doug, go ahead and please introduce yourself to us.
Hi, my name's Douglas Q. Bradley. I've been a bartender on the Strip for about 28 years. I decided that I wanted to move forward with my life into a new career, creating positivity. I thought the best way to do that would be a nurse.
Awesome. So, Doug, Julie was actually the one that nominated you for our nurse spotlight, and she gave us a little bit of background of you basically. So can you tell us a little bit about the challenges that met you as you're going through nursing school, as you're attending to both family and going to school at the same time and attending clinicals?
This year has definitely posed new challenges, but even along the way, there's been challenges. Being the sole income in my family, I do work as well as go to school. I'm a banquet bartender. My wonderful wife, been my best friend for 30 years as of last month, and my wife of 19 years as of 2 days ago. Uh, she's definitely my rock. I've been able to deal with the adversities that this entire year has thrown at me, and this entire process has thrown at me through the love and support of my wife. She's also in her first semester at Nevada State in the nursing program. And I constantly tell her that to take a statement from one of my professors, we stand on each other's shoulders. She stands on my shoulders and I stand on her shoulders. And without that love and support and that unconditional understanding that she gives me in this process, and that we actually now we give each other, I don't think that I would have survived.
Well, nursing is, after all, teamwork, right?
That's the truth.
So Julie actually gave us a little bit of background about you and what you experienced throughout this year, having a brother go through stage 3 colon cancer. Is that right?
Yes, he had a bowel resection as well and is now doing well on chemotherapy.
So tell us about the whole experience this whole entire year with your brother going stage 3 colon cancer and your best friend also going through a somewhat similar situation, right?
Yeah, just a few weeks ago, actually, my best friends went into Henderson Hospital for emergency appendectomy because his appendix had burst. In fact, they aren't even sure when his appendix had. So he was literally hours away from going sepsis. It was a testament to, I almost lost my brother this year. I almost lost my best friend. I did lose one of my closest friends at the beginning of the year from a heart attack, which kind of prompted all of us men actually going and getting health checked out, because we can often try to walk those kind of things off. And I went to every single family member and friend that I had and just begged them all to be proactive. And the results, I was able to have a polyp removed from me that was over 3.5 centimeters. That if it had required surgery, would have left me with a colostomy bag at the age of 50. And with all the care that I've done with colostomy appliances in the hospital, it was very poignant for me to realize that I had ducked that bullet.
Wow.
But it also I added to the list of experiences that are just going to help make me a better nurse.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that you made a positive turn with all the stuff that you experienced this year. So I want to know more about how has clinicals been for you this entire year? What was it like? And I know that it has posed challenges for all of the nursing students in general. with it being transferred to distance learning and to just having extra precautions while you're going through clinicals, right?
Yes. The very first heartbreaking moment for me was when we actually did get back into clinical. I was so excited. I was like, yes, I'm back at the hospital. Yay. Then they were like, I was like, oh, great. We're on the med surg floor. My patients are doing surgery. I was very excited. I'll get to go see some surgeries because I want to be a CRNA. So that's really where my passion is. And then the very first thing out of my professor's mouth was like, yeah, no, you're not doing that.
No.
There will be no students going down to see surgery. We're not supposed to go to other floors. There's a lot of restrictions placed on us. We can't be around any COVID patients. We have to be very specific about the patients that we do see. There are definitely a lot more restrictions upon our activities that weren't there prior to COVID. Definitely being pulled out of the hospital during my ICU rotation and during my mental health rotation last semester, with me wanting to be a CRNA and wanting to work towards the ICU. That was pretty much my first heartbreaking moment. And then mental health is close to my heart because I also have a psych minor, and that is something that I wanted to have that experience fully, having to switch from being in real clinicals to this virtual clinical situation is an extra challenge for all of us. Often these virtual clinicals, even though they are incredibly productive, we do an amazing amount of things from them, but it's all busy work. It's all classic. It's all more didactic work. It's missing that hands-on feel of I actually feel like I made a difference in a patient's life today. For instance, my community clinicals are all virtual. Was really looking forward to being able to go out into the community. I wanted to experience hospice care. I wanted to experience elderly care. I wanted to go and learn more about public health nursing. And just I've learned so much about it through the virtual experience, but I feel like some of those personal connections that you get with patients are missing.
Yeah, I can actually see the kind of struggle that you guys went through this entire year, being the experience completely different for the nursing students now, But
it's an experiment.
It's definitely an experiment. You're right. Doug, can you tell me a little bit more of a memorable experience throughout this year with a patient that you cared for?
Yeah, I have actually several experiences, but one that stands out to me happened very early on in my student nurse's career, and it wasn't even a patient of mine. I was working with a patient that was in the next room. I had been asked if I could take a chair, an extra chair that we had pulled from another patient's room, and return it to that patient's room. So being on task like we normally are, I said, no problem. I grabbed the chair, I ran into the other room, I went to put the chair down, and immediately when I put the chair down, I realized that I had to a patient's room who had just within the hour received a terminal diagnosis. She was despondent. She was not really even somewhat cognizant of my presence in the room. Her affect was definitely flat, and she was staring at the floor. I immediately thought, her being of the older generation, that I need to make sure that I approached her in an empathetic way as opposed to a sympathetic way, because I know often that, especially with the older generation, that can put them off because they're very tough and they don't like to feel like you're feeling sorry for them. So I looked on the board where we often write things about our patient, and on her board it said, I love cats. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? I love cats too. And she lit up and she said, you do? And I said, oh yes. I said, I have 2-legged children and I have 4-legged children. And so she spent several minutes going over many, many pictures on her phone, showing me her cats eating, sleeping in little outfits and all different kinds of activities, and telling me their names and how they were and their personalities. she was no longer there, lost in that moment of despair.
Mm-hmm.
She was back into her life for a moment. She had her love, her cats. And it just reminded me that, as nurses, we do all of these things. We bring all this patient education, we bring medications, we bring all of this science and evidence-based practice and therapeutic communication, all these things that we bring to the table. But the one thing that often sometimes can be missed in that rush to get our job done is to realize that basic acts are the most sacred acts. And
Mm-hmm.
that's straight from Gene Watson. Cannot take credit for that, but I've seen it time and time again. When your
Mm-hmm.
victory is a small victory, getting my shirt on for the day, I was able to go to the bathroom. I was able to pick up the telephone and order my meal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these small victories, when you are in that state, mean the most. And being able to give people the help and the care at times like this, it's honestly an honor to be able to be there to provide that. And I feel like it enriches my soul in
Mm-hmm.
ways that I've never felt before. And I definitely look forward to my career as a nurse because I just want more moments like that.
I'm glad that this experience of yours had such an impact on you. So, what would be your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway, definitely, well, like I said, basic acts are sacred acts. That's kind of like a motto for me. It's during my mock interview, it was suggested to me that I make that a mission statement, which because it's something I truly deeply feel. But on top of that, I also think it's important to be present, to be authentic. You have to be in the moment. You have to hear a person's story. Everyone has a story. We all have a story and we want to tell it. It needs to be heard. And when you can hear someone else's story and share in their life, you touch them on a deeper level. It allows for a deeper contact, a deeper authentic relationship to form between the nurse and the patient, between the nurse and a coworker, between the nurse and a family member, or even the nurse and themselves. It's something that you have to realize that, you have to be present. And often that's the hardest thing for us to do because we're in such a hurry.
Yeah, we always are in such a hurry at times that we forget, that we forget to just be there for our patients, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Doug, for joining us today and for our nurse spotlight. I know that we will be expecting great things from you,
Thank
and
you.
in the very near future. I know that your graduation is coming up, and we can't wait to just congratulate you to becoming a nurse. Um, as a thank you, Doug will be receiving a care package from Pink Beauty. Doug actually presented us with an opportunity to actually start developing our own men's line. So we will be providing that for Doug, and he is actually going to be the first to receive one from us. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, Doug. And here we have a couple of pictures of Doug. Um, with his wife and two children here. We also have a picture of him at the
The Christmas dinner for NICU at
mhm,
Sunrise Hospital that was last year.
mhm,
And there's also Family Wellness Day with
mhm.
Nevada Partners and the Culinary Academy that was just here in October.
Yeah. And all this, having all the challenges that you faced throughout this year, and then volunteering for the SNA, being a board member, and all this while attending nursing school. So we congratulate you for being such an inspiration to a lot of the nursing students that we have.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Doug.